W, X, Y,
Make it start.
Z. Hello, and we're back for round 2. We have Clifton on Omnitel, and we have Jim on Miracles. Should be able to see some good classic legacies, powerful decks doing powerful things. That's what we're here to do. Thanks for bearing with us with the break. The round is just starting now, so we'll get them to start resolving their mulligans, and we'll be on our way. So we'll have Anthony is stepped away from the booth for a little bit, so it's just us chat. Have fun. Really what we're looking for here is Miracles wants to go long, be able to have all the answers to Omni. I think that it gets better with the sideboard as well for Jim. Jim is a well-seasoned player. He's played a lot around here. Clifton also pretty good with his combo decks. Was on Storm for a while and has been picking up Omnitel for a bit now. So this should be a really, really good match with some good players here.
There we go. Sorry, had a little time adjustments, little sitting down. I had to find my casting partner who abandoned me.
No, I was here. The stream knows that I was here first.
Yeah. So we have. Did you already give the introductions? We have Clifton Colmenero on Omnitel.
I didn't do the last names, so I didn't want to butcher them.
Then we have Jim Chinese, which I actually believe it's Chianese. But don't tell him I know how to pronounce his name right, because I never will. And I know I have, let me see.
I found Jim.
You have Jim's right here?
Yeah, we're pulling up deck lists for everybody now.
Do you have Clifton's is the question?
No, I don't. But I might soon. Colmenero.
Yes.
So, how does this matchup work? What are they looking for?
I might have Clifton's, but I can't read anything because that's how this works. Go to 50%.
But what we know of Omnitel and what that means, and what we know of Miracles and what that means, how does this match usually work out?
So, there's Clifton. I also have Clifton's.
Okay.
We have both. You just have to make it very small to be able to find them easy. So we'll give a quick touch on Clifton's deck, as I have his list right here in front of me. This is a combo deck, if you guys don't know. And he is actually, I believe it's being referred to as Trinity Tell. He's actually playing 3 of every combo piece, kind of like sitting in the middle. So it's going to make him less consistent, but have more options. You know, he's going to have 3 sneak attacks, 3 omniscience, 3 Grizzlebrands, 3 Emeralds. He's also playing 2 Cunning Wishes and an Intuition as another set of 3 to be able to combo off the board. What this will do, though, with the Cunning Wish, it's going to make his sideboard a little bit weaker. It's going to give him less options throughout the day, but it's going to give him more options main deck to be able to interact with his opponents. In this matchup, Game 1, Jim is playing just straight blue-white Miracles. We do know he has 2 Blood main, or back to basics, a Council's Judgment, and a Supreme Verdict main. He is playing a very low-to-the-ground version with 3 Spell Pierces, in addition to his 4 Force and his 2 counter spells. So he will have a lot of interaction in this early game. His techie new card is going to be 3 Narset Parter of Veils, which has been the second coming of Leovold. While the card doesn't attack or block, it does shut down any and all cantrips that Clifton would be casting. So if it gets into these later turns, Clifton's cantrips, and more importantly his Grizzlebrands, will be turned off.
I think that is definitely really, really important for Jim, because if the game's going long, he's going to need that. Plus, it'll find him more answers. Jim's hand looks really, really tight with the Swords of Plowshares for an early answer to a Show and Tell if it comes out.
Looks like double swords and a back to basics, and all these cards not the best. Jim will have some struggles in this Game 1, but things get much better in Game 2, and I would fully expect this game to go to Game 3. And that, again, is just going to be speaking towards Clifton's deck not really having sideboard plans with that Cunning Wish build.
Yeah, and Clifton's in a good spot right here, having sneak attack plus the 2 guys, and a Lotus Petal, but he's going to need to find that red mana to activate that, and Jim will have the answers to begin with. So he's going to also probably want to find another way to interact. Now he has the Force of Will backup as well, so he has...
Clifton has the Force of Will backup?
Clifton does have Force of Will, yeah.
Okay.
So Jim will be taking his time. Jim is not afraid to be taking his time when he's playing his control decks.
Yeah, Jim found a force to fight back, and he did find a way to get rid of some of these bad cards. So he's keeping.
It's an important part of Magic. Get rid of the bad cards.
Yeah,
keep
he's
the good
keeping.
cards.
This is what turns Brainstorm into that pseudo ancestral recall, and why it makes Brainstorm such an almost oppressive card in the Legacy format, is that technically Jim was just able to take a 2-card mulligan mid-game. By drawing 3, putting 2 cards back, and cycling it away, he traded out 2 cards that he knew was bad for 2 cards that could potentially be much better.
Yes, and that'll be a recurring theme in all Legacy, or in almost, I would say, 60% of Legacy games, somebody's going to be casting a Brainstorm.
Yeah, Brainstorm, strong, good card. Pillar of the format.
Yeah, it's called the Brainstorm format.
I will let you know we're up to 35 viewers in this round 2 showdown.
Thank you everybody for showing up, supporting your local Legacy stream.
Make sure to tell your friends, tell your mom. This is Anthony Rivera.
I told my mom. Hi,
the
Mom.
amazing Dan Ford casting. Here is a sneak attack from Clifton. Looks like he has the proverbial hotness in his hands. He's going to have the Force of Will backup. He has the fetch for the red land, which is going to get a Grizzlebrand in play, which is going to be the most important thing for the draw 7 cards, deal 7 damage, see what you can do again next game. So here's the Force. Clifton is going to have the Force back, and Jim had the Narset. Clifton might just be 1 turn faster in this instance. That Narset hitting play next turn would have been very important.
That is very important, but again, he has the 2... if Jim's keeping up his Swords of Plowshares for this, he's going to be able to stop the 2 threats that are in Clifton's hand, and Clifton will be pretty slow on being able to get it. Also, if he ends up getting a Valk, which I think he has to because I think it's an off-color fetch.
The problem's going to be Clifton's going to draw 7 to 14 cards here. Probably 14.
Right.
Probably 14.
That's definitely true.
Jim's deck does not have a very fast clock, so Clifton can be.
He got the basic too.
Yeah,
so
he can be as greedy as he wants here. Draw 14, go to 3, see what happens.
Yeah, I think that he puts in Grizzlebrand, attacks, with it on the stack, he'll draw 14 cards.
I mean, if he attacks, he will get to draw 21 cards.
Well, it's gonna get swords too.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Well, there's the Ponder. Jim's gonna respect the Ponder, thinking that the last card in Clifton's hand isn't a Grizzlebrand.
So if he gets a Lotus Petal plus another thing here, plus 2 other things, right? Before he gets the draw, we're gonna swords it.
Yes. So Clifton has to decide right now what's going down. This isn't the best place to be. Well, he's definitely gonna draw again because he's gonna gain 7 life immediately.
Right.
So he's gonna go to 2, draw 14
so with
cards.
it on the stack, Jim is fetching to, I think, swords it again.
Yes, to make sure that the Grizzlebrand dies.
Yeah.
Once again, Jim is not in. This is not where you want to be as the Miracles player. He's gonna have 0 cards in hand, 3 lands in play. Clifton's gonna have 14 cards in his hand.
That is better.
Slightly better, yes. There's the first draw. There's going to be the second draw.
So yeah, getting off quick is what seems like the best route for him.
There, Clifton's looking through his proverbial million cards. There's the Emrakul. There's the game.
Oh, did he get the?
Yeah, in the
Lotus Petal?
in the 14 cards in his hand, there was in fact an Emrakul and a Lotus Petal. Yeah, so Jim's gonna hit the board. His board is kind of set up for this. He's sitting on Flusterstorms, Disenchants, Containment Priests, Vendilling Clicks, whereas Clifton is really only going to have, with the Cunning Wish builds, he probably brings in his one of the Seiju. He definitely has a defense grid that can come in. And other than that, an Arcane Artisan looks like it might be another card that can come in. Arcane Artisan would be to get around the Containment Priests.
Yeah, so that's what Jim's going to be bringing in. He has 2 Containment Priests, 2 Disenchants, Council's Judgment, Vendalian Clicks, and Surgical Extractions. Those are all different good things to be bringing in.
The Surgicals probably might be a little bit one more, depending on how many cards Jim's going to decide to take out. I guess if you counter the Force, or if you counter the Show and Tell, and then are able to extract it, that is a plan.
Yeah, and I think Jim knows to keep in and respect the Arcanist as well.
So. I think the biggest way Jim's going to win here is live past turn 3, resolve a Narset, really shut down Clifton's hand sculpting, and he'll be able to do that a lot faster on the draw. Have the Spell Pierces up for any early interaction, and just like against any combo deck, hope Clifton doesn't have the nuts.
Right. If it's a fast combo, then he's gonna have trouble. But if he stumbles once or just doesn't have a way to get around the early interaction that Jim can do, then he's going to be in a bad spot. Yeah. So I think that they both know exactly how the other deck's going to be, what the threats are that's going to be coming in from the sideboard from each side, and I think it's just about preparing for those and really resolving and being very very smart with your mulligans, right? I think that this is going to be the mulligan's going to be so
starting
important.
hands, just like, with every combo deck,
right?
Jim needs a lot of counter magic, a lot of interaction. Clifton needs more.
Yeah. And then Clifton's combo is what, 2 cards?
With Clifton's current build, it could be any number of random cards.
Right.
It's the 3 Grizzlebrand, 3 Emrakul, 4 Show and Tell, 3 Sneak Attack, 3 Omniscience, 2 Cunning Wish.
Yeah, I think Clifton just needs to choose a spot. He just needs to get a nice hand and choose a spot wisely, and then he'll be able to get.
So this
there.
hand we see double. We see a lot of enablers. We don't see.
Yeah, and I don't see a blue mana. There's no blue mana. A lot of soul lands, which are lands that will tap for 2 mana instead of 1.
I don't see blue mana. What is?
But he's keeping it based off.
He has a lot of Show and Tells.
Oh, that's good.
There's the Sneak Attack.
Getting the Sneak Attack is good.
I don't see any way to interact with the Sneak Attack with no creatures.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of stumble, which gives Jim time to set up the defenses, right?
Yeah, this is what Jim wants to do, and this is one of the awkward parts about Clifton. It's that he actually has to draw, with the way his hand is right now, he needs to draw one of the 6 creatures. And he needs to draw them rapidly. As the additional Omnisciences are kind of dead cards now. More Show and Tells aren't good. More Sneak Attacks aren't good. He has plenty of mana. He does need the blue mana, but he doesn't have anything for it. Jim is going to have land up. He's hit his 3rd land. Clifton's kind of tanking here. A lot of soul lands. He can. This is almost kind of a bait. Does Jim let him have it? Jim has the counterspell mana up.
I think he's going to let
and
him.
I believe he also has. He might have a disenchant. That might be the 3rd card.
Yeah, I think I see the disenchant in there. Oh no,
Containment Priest.
Little shortcut there to use both the fetches at the same time.
There's the blues. There's the blues mana, guys.
That's what he's going to need. Cast his blue spells.
And Containment Priest coming down and completely shutting down Show and Tell, or shutting down
Sneak attack.
The sneak attack is pretty good.
Okay, so
Jim's just gonna brainstorm in
he's
response.
brainstorm. He knows he has a lot of time. He can use this time in order to cultivate the best hand that he can.
There's the Vendilling Click, which is gonna be the hotness.
Very good against the sneak attack. He has a lot of things in order to get around the sneak attack. Clifton, still no blue mana, can't cast the show and tells. There's 3 show and tells in his hand.
Yeah, like you said.
And then Jim also gets down the clock.
All enablers, no gas for our 50 viewers here. Clifton has kept a questionable all-enabling hand, which would be good if he drew blue and was just able to bait show and tells out forever. If Jim brings in this Vendilling Click, he will see exactly the jig will be up. Problem being, Jim has to choose between keeping up the Containment Priest or keeping up the Vendilling Click, with no real way to discern between the two.
I think that if he has an option, say end step, he can still do it to put in the Containment Priest, right?
I mean, if Clifton has the hotness, and actually we know that he doesn't have, but if Clifton had a creature, Jim would not want to
play either of them. And he's fine with that. He's just make the land drops, and then you can do it later.
Goes for it.
Okay,
there's the Containment Priest.
No punish though.
That might be.
And Jim also wants to close out this game.
The jig might be up in every form of the word here.
Yeah, I mean Clifton still has the. Nope, never mind. Clifton needs to get a blue mana.
Clifton needs blue mana
and a brainstorm in order to get.
He has the brainstorm. He has multiple brainstorms.
Oh, does he have brainstorm?
Yes,
he has show and tells.
I feel like there's at least there's two brainstorms.
2 show and tells.
Yes, 2 brainstorms, 2 show and tells.
So if he draws a blue mana,
I think that's a second sneak attack.
Pyroclasm? Did he bring Pyroclasm here? I think he knows that he has.
He's Cunning Wishes. I think he's still Cunning Wish for sweepers. I don't think.
Oh yeah.
There's the Pyroblast. Jim should have the counter spell, which I feel like you definitely yes.
There's nothing else there.
Jim's gonna see that Clifton's holding a whole lot of nothing. He does have the Beseju, which is
Clifton laughs. He's just like, "Yep, that's what I'm working with over here." Good hearty chuckle over there. Jim's like, "Yeah, that's right."
Yeah, I'll get some on the City of Traders.
Okay.
So Clifton on a very real clock here.
Yeah, I think that's 7 damage. That's 2 turns, right?
There's the Narset.
Further lock it up.
That's
and
the end of the
Clifton
game. There's
sees,
the scoop.
There's nothing else that I can do
at
here. My brainstorms are turned off. This is scooping up time.
Scooping up time. I mean, one of his chances would have been show and tell, omniscience, cast brainstorm a bunch of times.
Right.
Prayer.
Yeah, but he still needed the blue mana. He needed a lot of things going on.
So that was one of the deals with this build of Omnitel and most builds of Omnitel, and why
it just stumbles.
In most circles, it is seen as the second class show and tell deck.
It's really strong, right? It's a really strong deck, but it's just not as consistent.
It has the strongest combo. If you get to go show and tell into omniscience, into do things, omniscience lets you not play Magic, is what it is. All your stuff is free. It's not a very fair Magic card, but you have to have that third card. You have to have the third piece of the combo, as opposed to just running 4 Grizzlebrand, 4 Emrakul, 4 Show and Tell, 4 Sneak Attack.
Right.
Let's get there, guys.
Yeah, and it's disgusting when it works, but Miracle's trying to play this real fair control game. Just hard control. Just all the lock pieces that you can think of to really, and it has a wide range to attack many different decks, and it has a lot of cards for this matchup.
Well, Miracle's being, I can't remember, there's some quote, somewhere that exists in the internet. It's about the late game being an ocean, and some mother effers can't even swim. And that's where the Miracles deck wants to be. It wants to be in the deep end.
It's riding its yacht out there.
It wants to be.
It's like seeing these guys in little inner tubes trying to tread the waters, and it's out there in a yacht making wakes.
Yeah, it does not want to mess with these early turns. It wants to be way out there, 7-8 land drops, just enjoying life. And that's not where Clifton's deck wants to be. Clifton's deck wants to win quick. It wants to go land, done. His hand right now, I see.
All right.
I don't see a lot of
I don't
lands.
think there's a
I
lot of lands
only
in there.
see.
There's no lands in there.
There's one land. There's one ancient tomb.
And just an ancient tomb. Oh, that's a risky keep, Clifton.
So it's one ancient tomb, no blue mana. It
Clifton's
looks
on
like
the play, right?
he is
'Cause
on the
he lost.
play,
Going into game 3.
going for the mulligan.
Got to go for
Couldn't
that
do
mulligan.
it.
And
Couldn't
then
do it. To our
Jim, I think Jim's
To our 48 viewers, guys, 48. Dan, Elijah Ford. We have 48 viewers. 48
How did you
viewers
know?
watching Clifton, Jonathan Colomero, and Jim Brian Chinese battle off here. Clifton taking the first mulligan, and this is actually the London mulligan rule. Do you know? Are you familiar with the London mulligan?
I've been in London, but I haven't played with the London mulligan rule that much.
So the new London mulligan rule, which they have implemented, instead of taking the traditional, so the most traditional is go to 6 cards, keep it. Then it was the Paris mulligan, I believe, which was go to 6 cards, scry 1.
Vancouver mulligan.
No, the Vancouver mulligan. Sorry. So
Is this like the same thing?
yeah, it's the same thing. I remember there being a Paris mulligan somewhere in there, but the new
That was for Commander, I think.
Yes. The new London mulligan is Clifton is going to draw 7 cards, and then he's going to look at his hand, like he is right now. That's the look at the hand right there, and you see the Petal, Omniscience, Land, Spell Pierce. No, Besage.
I think that's a nice hand, but it doesn't do. I mean, it gets you to turn 3 Emrakul, right? It's uncounterable.
It's not a Besage. It was a.
Anyway, so the rest of the
soul land.
mulligan, he's going to take
and he's
one
going to
card.
take 1 card, and that's what he's doing right now. That card in his right hand, and he's going to put it on the bottom of his library. So what this does is it really lets mulligans be less punishing. I've lost to many people that have mulled to 5.
Yeah.
And it feels much better. Your deck will more likely be able to do the things that it wants to do, and mulliganing isn't just a sudden game loss. So there is the Besage. There was a Besage. I'm a liar.
Besage you into a Force of Will, drawn by Jim.
Besage you into Force of Will.
Well.
So does he have? Is there a show and tell and an Emrakul in his hand?
Oh, and then he can just go for it right here. You can just go for it right here. This might be it.
This would be very unfortunate that he drew the 1 of Besage. So this is going to be the 3 land into an uncounterable show and tell. Into an Emrakul? There was an Emrakul,
There was
right?
an Emrakul in his hand too, yeah. I mean, this is the fastest that it can go, and also with some protection. I think that this is.
I mean,
pretty
this
good.
would be the most unfortunate thing. We know that's a 1 of Besage that he sides
I mean,
in.
for who? You know.
For Magic players everywhere.
It's definitely Clifton's loving it.
This is the proverbial nuts that we were talking about.
Nuts is when you have it all. You have the cards you want.
So what are
You
Jim's
can play them too.
outs here? I do not
I think
believe.
he can brainstorm to try and get the Containment Priest has to come down before.
Yeah. There's the land. There's the Emrakul.
All right.
There's the fetch. So Jim can
Brainstorm. Do you think
Council's
he
Judgment. He can Council's
Council's
Judgment.
Judgment. Terminus.
He can Terminus. He can blind Terminus.
Well, no, he has the Brainstorm to set it up.
Yeah, but he has to do it right now.
No, he's going to pass the turn, end of turn, Brainstorm. Right? If it finds a Terminus, he puts it on
Jim
top.
gets to brainstorm right now. Yes, you are correct. I am
Yeah.
in fact wrong.
So then.
There's the
Okay,
brainstorm.
There's the Brainstorm.
There's the brainstorm.
These are the tough 3 cards here. Oh! Snapcaster Mage.
Ah,
There it
none of
is.
those being
Extend the hand.
So, Clifton.
I'll try and find us another match.
Clifton taking it 2-1 with the proverbial nut draw. There you go. The original mulligan was the Paris mulligan. You can mulligan 7 new cards if you had all lands or no lands. Clifton winning 2-1 over the miracle superhero, Jim Chinese. Let's see if we can take a look. What is our time at? We have 28 minutes. We are going to find you guys we are going to find you guys a name. To our 52 viewers, we will find you a second match. Give us a hot second. We'll be right back.